26th was his anniversary day, and then we had a long meditation on that day. And tomorrow, Monday, 30th September, is his birth anniversary. And this Satsang also, we thought we will talk about him and then draw inspiration from his life and his teachings. I think most of you must have read the fascinating tale of when Lahiri Mahasaya met Babaji, and then this technique of Kriya Yoga that Prabhupada was just reading about was brought to us. And it's a fascinating tale where Lahiri Mahasaya was asked in a circumstantial way to go to Ranikhet, and then while wandering he heard his name being called, and while tracing the source of that particular sound, he met his Guru Babaji. And the two old friends, or Guru disciple if you want to call like that, went to his cave, the old place where they used to meditate together. They found their old stuff still lying around, their asan where they used to meditate, a small plate where they used to eat. Pretty humble, kind of a two sadhus meeting after a long time. And then Babaji decides to initiate Lahiri Mahasaya into Kriya Yoga. And then that's a fascinating tale where the place which was at the moment it was really humble and then kind of a sadhu-like, it's materialized into a palace, a big palace. This was, according to Babaji, was one of the wish that Lahiri Mahasaya had. And in that grand palace, Babaji gives him the initiation into Kriya Yoga. And then Lahiri Mahasaya spends next few days into that ecstasy, in the state of samadhi, a divine union, before coming back again to the worldly realities. And then there is a discourse between Babaji and Lahiri Mahasaya where he tells Lahiri Mahasaya that in this lifetime you won't have the privilege of being just around me, but your work lies into the world. Take this technique and then give it to those who are willing to renounce everything in the quest of God. Lahiri Mahasaya, being a humble disciple, though in his own way he basically said that, well, Master, I will do as you say so, but if you put such a strong restriction, then maybe I don't think there will be a lot I can initiate in this lifetime. Well, he said it in a different way, I'm just paraphrasing here. But Babaji then agreed and said that the divine has spoken through you, so give the technique to all those who seek it earnestly. And with that word from Babaji, Lahiri Mahasaya returns back to Banaras, where at that time he was working as an accountant. He was going to be the role model for all of us, being a householder yogi, breaking the tradition where we see people in oranges or different colors who are kind of, we all felt, or at that point people felt that if you want to find God, that's the way to go for it. But his life was an example for all people at that time and for all of us, which shows that you don't have to be necessarily a renunciate completely, that outward sense, to follow God. And then he came back, and what is interesting, he's continued to be an accountant for 25 years after being initiated into that Kriya Yoga technique. But this is fascinating. See that this is a great master who was just with Babaji, and then he saw all this miracle happening right in front of him, where the palace was materialized right in front of him, and he was in ecstasy, he experienced a divine union with God, and he came back. He of course started dispensing and then spreading the teachings, initiating people into Kriya Yoga. He had thousands of disciples very soon. But every morning he would do the same thing as everyone else does. We just go there and do his work as accountant. Not for a few days, not for a few weeks, but 25 years till he was eligible for his pension so that he can sustain his families. But this fascinates me really. I was trying to understand why he was doing that. Household yogis, we had many examples of household yogis who were married and then still they had their ashrams and then disciples would come to them. But this person who has thousands of disciples, who cannot really be familiar with or within his body when he starts meditating and then people see him levitating, is a great master who is we can materialize at two places at the same time. He gives Kriya initiations in vision to people, and every morning he gets up and goes to his office and do an accountant job. Not something you will associate very easily to a great avatar like him. So why was he doing that? Was he karmically bound through that? It's difficult to accept that particular argument. Didn't he have option to change that thing? So the way Lahiri Mahasaya was invited to Ranikhet was because his superior thought that he should be transferred there, because Babaji probably gave him a thought, and he was transferred there. And then when the ceremony of his initiation was done, the same superior was given another thought, which is, well, it was a wrong thing, so just bring him back in. So that was trivial for them to do these kind of changes. One story I also want to say about the power that these saints can have is from the life of Ananda Ma. There was one disciple of Ananda Ma, and he had some physical problems, meaning he was suffering from some illnesses, and he went to many doctors and Vaidyas at that time, but nothing really could work. So he thought maybe he would go to an astrologer and then try to find out, is there any karmic thing there, or if there's something can be done from the astrological point of view. So he went to this astrologer. He was a very nice guy, the astrologer, not like a parrot kind of guy, but very sincere, genuine astrologer. And so he looked at his hand and other things. He asked him questions, and he said, "My friend, I'm so sorry to say, but it looks like your lifetime is going to be spent soon. Maybe a few more months, 3-4 months, and you have to make the transition." The devotee wasn't too happy, but he accepted what the astrologer said and went back to his ashram. He decided to devote more of his time serving his guru and then practicing his sadhana. So a few months passed, 3 months passed, 4, 5, almost a year passed, but nothing happened to that devotee. He was happy for sure, but he was still not sure whether it was wrong that he said something. So he thought, I'll go back to the astrologer one more time and ask him what's the logic. By this time the astrologer didn't quite remember him directly because he's a popular astrologer. So he again showed him the same thing, the hand and his papers and birth date. And then the astrologer looked at him and said, I don't understand. Because according to these things you shouldn't be existing. So I said, well, I have a question. Do you have a guru? He said, yes. Who is that guru? He says, Ananda Ma. This astrologer gives him back all his documents. He said, my friend, when this Ananda Ma, astrology comes to rest. What he was trying to say is like when these masters like Ananda Ma or Lahiri Mahasaya, if they are behind you, they have the power to change this God's dream dharma, as we call it. And Lahiri Mahasaya was one of the avatars, as we know. He had the capacity to change any of the things that were happening in his life and of course in other disciples' life, but he did not. 25 years, every morning, just like anyone of us else goes, he would wake up and go to that accounting job and do it faithfully. He was not doing many miracles in his job, just like any of us. What was the message that he was trying to say to us? And the message was basically, you don't have to create time for God. Many times we have heard people complaining. I have complained, even I complain these days also, in spite of wearing these kind of clothes. It's like I don't have enough time. I need to go to Himalayas, and then that way I will have a lot of time, and somehow all of a sudden the God will come and fill that particular time. It's not. What he was trying to say is that it is not time. You always have time. What you need to create is that yearning, which is the time and the space inside your heart. And when you have created that yearning inside your heart, everywhere you go, everything that you do, you will try to feel the presence of God, because that's what you're looking for. Master said that read for 1 hour, write for 2 hours, and meditate all the time. What they were talking about is not that, well, Dhyana asked me to do this work, now I cannot meditate all the time, I'm breaking Master's rule, it's her fault. No. He said that be in presence. If in your heart you're with Him all the time, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you will feel that connection. And he represented that, he exemplified that for us by going through his lifetime this way, by doing the job that we normally call the mundane job, which is separate from the spiritual life. But he said, no, if you want to learn God, try to create space in your heart, not in your schedule. And once we create that, we will certainly feel it. Master also said one more thing, which is like mathematics. Kriya and devotion works like mathematics. This devotion part is very supremely important, and I would like to stress that here, because Kriya itself is a fascinating technique. You can do it just mechanically and trying to say that, well, yeah, it's working. Unless we bring that component of devotion in there, it is not going to work like mathematics. And that's what he wanted to say. It's basically, it's your heart where you create that space, that devotion, and all those techniques will fall in place. I would like to end with a small short story or excerpt, whatever you want to call it. I don't know where I heard it from, but tomorrow is his birthday. Now, the purpose of his existence, purpose of his lifetime was to bring the technique of Kriya Yoga to us. And then that's what he did. Now, at this time when he was in his body, many of his disciples would come to him for Guru Purnima, for his birthday, for any other occasions, and gift him the kriyas that they do. I mean, he had really advanced disciples, so don't get scared by the numbers. But a couple of disciples came and said, "Oh, Master, I was doing like 600 kriyas a day for last week, so I just came to visit you and offer you all those things." But what a sweet idea! Such an avatar. Now we don't. What is that thing he's looking for, and what is it that he will be happy? What is the thing that if we give it to him, he will be happy? And I think that will be the kriya. I think we all can, those who are kriyabans, again, those who are not, you can do your own way. But those who certainly are kriyabans, for tomorrow, we can make ourselves a commitment that we will offer him all our kriyas. And each kriya, not just the mechanics, that's the way we do it, but tipping them in our devotion. Every kriya has to come from heart, and it has to be for him. When we prepare prasad for gods or for whoever is the famous deity that you like, we put our heart into that. The outcome doesn't have to be the great, in the sense we are not all extremely good cook, but it always comes out wonderful because there is this heart factor involved. And that's what we can do tomorrow. And always, but tomorrow particularly, do your kriyas, do them more than you do normally. And every time when you do one, try to make sure that, is this good enough for Lahiri Mahasaya? Is this what is worth offering to him? And when you're satisfied from your heart, offer it to him. And I'm sure he will be glad. Joy to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brahmacharis Devendra. I'm also going to talk to you this morning. I don't know if some of you have visited Lahiri Mahasaya's home in Banaras. Any of you visited his home? Oh, only one or two, maybe three people here. When I went to his home, it's a very old section of Banaras, you see it's very difficult to find his home, first of all. It's very, very difficult to find his home. It's very difficult to find him, so his home also. And so people suggested me you go from the back side where the Ganges is and find from there his home. So I saw a stone. There's a name of the road there. It says Yogiraj Lahiri Mahasaya Path. Now when I saw the title, that Yogiraj Lahiri Mahasaya Path, what is this Yogiraj he's talking? Who gave this title? What is this Yogiraj title is all about? What does it mean by Yogiraj? Yogi Raj means who is the king of the yogis. And now that title was given to Lahiri Mahasaya because he was a supreme yogi, one of the yogis of this time, of this modern time. Paramahansa Yoganandaji gave him a title of Yoga Avatar, that incarnation of the yoga. That why? Is because he practiced the techniques of the yoga, he practiced all the teachings of the yoga in the simplest possible way, perfected it and taught to his disciples. He had a title of Mahasaya. We said the Lahiri Mahasaya. Mahasaya is not his name, it's just a title there. What does it mean by Mahasaya? What do we understand by Mahasaya? Mahashaya, somebody, is title given to somebody who is a great soul. Isn't so? When Paramahansa was talking about Lahiri Mahasaya, he told that Lahiri Mahasaya was Kabir in his previous lifetime. He was King Janak in the previous lifetime also. And like Master says that I killed Yogananda long back. No one lives in this temple but God. The same way that Lahiri Mahasaya also, he killed this Lahiri Mahasaya many lifetime back. He was a great yogi that time, in the earlier times. I remember that Master told a story of Shukdev and his father Vedvyasa. Now Vedvyasa and his son Shukdev, Vedvyasa was himself a great yogi, a great saint. So when his wife was conceived, and so he was teaching his son, the Shukdev, in his womb by his subconscious mind of her wife. The spirit saints can do all these things. So when Shukdev was born, he was highly evolved. So at the age of 6, he decided, I want to become a renunciate. And he thought that his father himself was not fit enough to teach him. So he wanted to go away. And he asked his father, I don't think you are fit. I am going to somebody who can teach me. So his father said, there is only one person who can teach you and who is fully liberated, fully enlightened. He is King Janak. If you go him, he will teach you. But he said that, how can King Janak can teach me? He is a married man, he is a king, he is involved in the worldly affairs. How can he teach a renunciate? So, but his father says, no, go to him. So finally, he heard his father's advice and went to King Janak. He reached in his court, he saw King Janak sitting there. And of course, all the courtesans were there, they were doing the pankhas and everything. So he was returning. So he says, this is nonsense. I am going from here. This is absolutely not for me. He started returning. And then King Janak, he was so evolved, he could read the thoughts of Shukdeva. And he sent one of his men, he says, go and get this guy here. Get this boy here. It was a 6-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy. So both of them come. And Lahiri Mahasaya says, the King Janak says, sit. Why are you here? He says, I wanted to learn some yoga techniques to get a full liberation. But I don't think you are fit for me to teach me. He says, just sit. We'll talk about God. Just sit here. So both of them sit. And then what happens, this King Janak, who was Lahiri Mahasaya, he had power to do the things by his will. So by his will, he did something that two of his courtmen comes running. He says, my lord, the kingdom is on the fire, there's so much fire. We should go and try to douse that fire. And the King Janak says that, oh, me and my friend Shukdeva, we are sitting and talking of God. Don't worry, God will take care of it. Both men left. And then 2 hours later, 3 hours later, he says that, my lord, the fire has come to the palace. Will we all burn here? Let's go and do something. Can you go out and guide to the people? And King Janak says, oh, we are drunk in the name of God. Don't bother me. God will take care of it. Again, both the guards, they run away. 1 hour later, they come and says, my lord, the fire has come to the chamber, here. It's going to burn your thorn, and it's also going to burn everything here. Run away. By that time, Shukdeva was running, he was sitting and thinking. He had brought his books, all the books he had brought there. He had brought there. And then he was thinking, what kind of king is that? He's not going to help the people, he's not going to guide people. What kind of king is this? And then he said that, well, the fire is coming, he's going to burn my book. He got up, he took his books, started running away, Shukdeva. And King Janak says, Shukdeva, why are you running now? Are you not a renunciate? Why did you grab your books? You said you are a renunciate and you are grabbing your books and running. Don't you think God will protect us? You are true renunciate. And then King Janak, with his power again, with his will, he doused all the fire. Then Shukdeva realized that this was a mistake, that there is something more in King Janak, that he's trying to say something. Then he said, okay, I will learn from you. What do I do now? So King Janak says, okay, I will teach you. But you have to pass my test first. One more test is there. He says, what? He says, there's an oil in the lamp. This oil is filled to the brim of the lamp. Take it, with it full of it, and go in my palace with this oil and see everything around. But condition is that one drop of the oil should not fall from the lamp. If it falls, you fail the test. And Sukhdeva says, fine. He goes all the rooms in the palace. He comes back. And the thing was that not a single drop of oil was dropped. He says, he thought that I passed the test. Then King Janak asked, what did you see in the palace? He says, no, I didn't see anything in the palace. I was just concentrated on the oil, that it should not fall. He said, no, then you did not pass the test. You must go again. The oil should not drip, and you must look every single detail in the palace and come back to me. If you pass it, this test, I will give it to you my teachings. So again Sukhdeva left, and this time he was very careful, he was very concentrated, he was looking around, but also took care of this lamp also. When he comes back, he passed the test. What do you think in this story the lamp, the oil in the lamp signifies? The palace signifies. The oil in the lamp signifies our consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asks Lord Krishna that which one is the greater path? The path of the renunciation or the path of the worldly man who fulfills his duties living in this world? Which one is the higher? And Lord Krishna says, of course, the higher path is if you can live in the world and fulfill all your duties, but provided you would not get attached to this world, you would not get entangled in this world. If you can do that, you are the great. You are greater than the renunciates. And that is the reason that not many people can do that. And some people become monks, some people become nun also. So you see that Lahiri Mahasaya Master talks about, Swamiji asks Swami Paramahansa Yogananda, you talk about so many saints in autobiography, yogi. And which of those saints were fully liberated? And Master says that only two. Apart from this, our line of the masters, Lahiri Mahasaya, Babaji Yukteswar, and of course Paramahansa Yogananda, he did not say himself and Christ. He says that only two of the disciples of Lahiri Mahasaya, Brahmananda and Ram Gopal Majumdar, that two of the disciples of Lahiri Mahasaya were fully liberated. None of the other saints were fully liberated. You can see from that how great Lahiri Mahasaya would be, how great he was in his greatness. But he did not say anything about his greatness. As Amit was saying, that I was wondering on this question, that what did he do when he met Babaji? Did he resign from his job as Swami Paramananda, that he got too much intoxicated with the joy of the God that he wanted to resign? But I found that no, he served for 25 years. He will sit in his office, he will, you see the healing of that man who said that my wife in London, she is sick. What can he do about it? And Lahiri Mahasaya closed his office, closed his eyes and says that she will be well, and she is writing to you this letter right now, and she will be back. Happens one month later on, she comes back, and she was well. The letter she had sent, exactly the same words were written which Lahiri Mahasaya was telling. There was a teaching of Lahiri Mahasaya which I like very much. He says, Banat Banjai. I like it very much. Very, very good for the people practicing meditation, even in the daily life also. When I was curious about this teaching, I searched on the internet, I googled it. And I found there's a company opened on this name, and they have a logo on Banat Banjai. I was surprised to see that. So what does it mean by Banat Banjai? That the literal meaning of this Banat Banjai is like making, and made. Or you can say doing, and done. But spiritually, you can translate it as a striving, and one day, behold, lo and behold, you reach there. We are talking about affirmation this morning on perseverance. Why we were doing it? Because this teaching is perseverance. That Banat Banat Banjai. The spiritual path may not be easy many times, that we get frustrated. We may seem that we are not progressing at all because the progress is so subtle. So, and Lahiri Mahasaya, as Paramahansa Yoganandaji also used to say that if you water the seed, don't cover it every day. Don't uncover it every day to see how much it is growing. Just keep doing it. So this is his teaching, that Banat Banat Banjai, just keep doing it. And one day, behold, you are there. And then there is another teaching of Lahiri Mahasaya that solve all your problems through meditation. If your child is in a maths class in class 7, is going to meditate, the math problem will be appeared in his forehead. He'll solve the problem there. Can he do it? No. But what did he mean by solve all your problems through meditation? What did he mean by that? He meant through meditation, raise your consciousness enough that it goes beyond the problem. And from there, you can see what is this problem all about. And you can solve that problem. So this applies to not only mathematics, it applies to everything else in the life. So he gave the teaching of solve. I was doing this aura photography for somebody just 3 days back. And she said to me that, when I have to give advice, I can give it to everybody very easily. But when problem comes to me, I can't think of it. I can't find the solutions. I said, why? Why do you think that you can't think of solution for yourself, but you can tell other people very easily? Why do you think it? Why do you think of so? Because everybody else in this world, they can give suggestions and advice, everything. We say about the Indians that Indians are very fond of giving the free advice, free suggestions. But why come? How come that we can see other people and we can give them advice very easily, but why not ourselves? When we are in the problem, why can't we see the solutions? It's because our mind has got in that problem consciousness. We have to raise our mind, we have to uplift our mind. There's another teaching of Lahiri Mahasaya, not teaching, but his saying for his presence. He said that those who practice Kriya Yoga, I will be with them. I will be ever with them, those who will practice Kriya Yoga. So let's, in this coming week, in this coming time, let's try to tune ourselves, by practicing Kriya, try to tune, especially in Lahiri Mahasaya's consciousness, and try to feel his presence, try to feel his blessings in our life as we meditate. A few years back, as we all know, that 1861 Lahiri Mahasaya got the Kriya Yoga initiation. And 2011 was the 150th year marking the Kriya Yoga initiation and it coming into the world that Lahiri Mahasaya gave to everybody. We celebrated in a special way. We celebrated by meditating 2 days, every 4 times a day, every let's say 11 to 1 in the morning, again 5 to 7 in the evening, 11 to 1 in the night, and again 5 to 7 in the morning. 2 days we did it, and it was all dedicated to Lahiri Mahasaya, to honor him, especially thank him as he brought the teachings of Kriya Yoga in this modern life, and celebrating the 150th year of Kriya Yoga coming into this modern age. So let's plan this weekend, as we have 2 days, maybe today and tomorrow, as we celebrate Lahiri Mahasaya's mahasamadhi and birthday. Tomorrow is his birthday. Let's ask his blessing. Let's practice Kriya with asking him for his blessings, and let's ask him for his blessing that we go deeper into the Kriya in our services and everything we do in our life. Thank you so much. God bless you all.